The emotional bond, Princess Leonor and her chosen one. The palace walls whisper of duty. Every glance, every smile, tradition weighs heavy. Then, a quiet revelation. Princess Leonor has a chosen one. Not selected by protocol, not approved by centuries of expectation. A bond forged in secret, stronger than duty itself. Who is he? And how did their hearts find each other in the shadow of a throne? From the earliest days of her childhood, Princess Leonor of Asturias has been more than just a daughter and a sister, she has been an heir, the embodiment of Spain's future monarchy. Her education, her gestures, her words, all prepared for one purpose, to take the throne one day. Yet behind the regal posture and the careful grooming is a young woman with a heart that longs for connection, authenticity, and love. This is where the story of The Chosen One begins. Not in a glittering ballroom, not through an arranged introduction, but in the subtle, quiet moments of a life lived under scrutiny. Insiders whisper that their first meeting happened far from cameras, perhaps during her studies abroad, perhaps at an official event cloaked in anonymity. It was a moment not meant for history books, a glance, a shared smile, an unexpected conversation that lasted longer than it should have. How does such a bond take root in a world where every move is watched? For Leonor, raised on duty, the concept of choice in her personal life has always been fragile. Yet as she grew into her role, she began to carve out private spaces, moments where she could simply be herself. In these moments, the chosen one emerged as a confidant, a friend, a mirror reflecting back the person she is beneath the crown. How does a princess maintain such a relationship? How do you protect something so personal from the public and the press? Those close to the royal household describe her as determined, quietly strong, and deeply thoughtful. She has inherited her father's sense of duty and her mother's independence. This combination makes her both respectful of tradition and aware of her own autonomy. The chosen one fits into this narrative not as a disruptor but as an anchor, someone who allows her to balance the immense pressures of public life with the private need for emotional grounding. We know the palace is a place of ceremony, but behind closed doors it is also a home, a place where emotions rise, where family tensions exist, where choices are debated. Queen Letizia, once a journalist who entered this world as an outsider, understands the stakes of choosing one's own path. Has she advised her daughter on how to navigate the complexities of a private bond? Has King Felipe offered caution or quiet support? Every family conversation shapes the course of this secret love story. The chosen one, as yet unnamed publicly, is said to share Leonor's values, a commitment to service, discretion, and a respect for the life she leads. This is not a whirlwind romance of tabloids, but a slow, deliberate building of trust. Letters exchanged, coded messages in plain sight, stolen minutes at official events. How long can such a relationship remain hidden before the palace steps in? And what happens when it can no longer be concealed? Each revelation about their bond invites a new question. If she were to choose him publicly, how would the Spanish people react? Would they celebrate her independence or question her judgment? What of the European royal families, who watch her every move as a bellwether for the next generation of monarchs? Tradition demands alignment, but modernity celebrates authenticity. Which path will she take? As 2025 approaches, Leonor's public role intensifies, speeches, appearances, and official training as future queen. Yet even as she stands before cameras, observers note subtle changes, a glow, a new confidence, a softness in her gaze. Could this be the quiet signature of love? Could it be that this bond is shaping not only her heart but her approach to leadership? Insiders suggest the chosen one has already been introduced privately to select members of her family. These moments are carefully choreographed, not publicized, not photographed. Each meeting tests the waters, balancing affection with expectation. How did these meetings unfold? Was there tension, surprise, or quiet acceptance? The answers remain locked behind palace doors, but each whisper fuels curiosity. This is not just a love story, it is a study in courage. For a young woman raised to serve, choosing one's own partner is an act of defiance and of selfhood. And yet, because of the deep emotional bond, it is also an act of devotion, to herself, to her future, to the kind of queen she wants to become. How will this choice shape the monarchy? Will it usher in a new era of transparency and relatability, or will it provoke resistance from those who guard tradition? Imagine her now, late at night, in her private rooms at the palace. Away from the gold and marble, away from the expectations, she reads a message from him, smiles quietly, and feels, for a moment, simply like any other young woman in love. It is in these moments that history bends, that tradition softens, that the future queen becomes a person whose story resonates beyond titles. This emotional bond is a thread running through her life, invisible to the public yet strong enough to shape her choices. Each new public appearance will be analyzed for clues, a glance at her ring finger, a companion at her side, a mention in a speech. With every clue, another question emerges, keeping the world watching, wondering, waiting. As the narrative unfolds, it becomes clear that this is not about rebellion but about authenticity. A princess who understands her duty but also her right to love. A future queen who sees her chosen one not as a challenge to the crown but as a partner in the life she must lead. This is the heart of the story, the emotional bond that sustains her as she steps into history. And so we watch as each chapter of this quiet romance is written. The palace maintains its silence. The public speculates. But behind the scenes, the bond deepens, grows, and prepares for the moment it can stand in the light. When that day comes, it will not just be another royal headline. It will be the culmination of years of careful, heartfelt choice, a testament to the power of love in the life of a princess who will be queen. Until then, the mystery endures. Each appearance, each whisper, each small gesture is another piece of a puzzle that the world is eager to solve. The emotional bond between Princess Leonor and her chosen one is not just a story, it is a living, unfolding reality, shaping the future of the Spanish monarchy and redefining what it means to lead with both heart and duty.